So, you're looking to start investing through Fidelity Investments, and you want to know which funds you should be investing in. Well, I got you covered in this video. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Let's Talk Finances. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Trey, and I am a United States Army Special Operations Forces member, and I am waging war on debt. On this channel, we focus on helping you get out of debt, reach financial independence so that you can ultimately begin building wealth. So, if that sounds like something that you are interested in, don't waste any more time and subscribe to this channel. I will be giving you the step-by-step guides on not only getting out of debt, but ultimately becoming a millionaire. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and subscribe. So for those of you who are new to investing, there is one question that you should be asking yourself, and that is, what is my investment strategy? Are you looking to make short-term gains? Are you looking to make long-term gains? Are you looking to invest so that you can retire with a comfortable nest egg? All three are possible when investing through index funds. Index fund number one that you should be looking at investing in 2021, Fidelity's Total Market Index Fund. Ticker symbol FSKAX. I am a huge fan of a total stock market index fund. For me personally, a total stock market index fund is the best investment to start your foundation off with. And why is that? It's for diversification. So, what exactly does a total stock market index fund entail? Well, over 3,600 US companies that you will be investing in with this particular stock. But let's go a step further and dive into what makes up this particular index fund. Its expense ratio is 0.015%. It has a zero minimum balance. It's considered to be a mid-risk index fund. It's very low expenses, but yields very high returns. That is what you want to see. You want to minimize your risk while maximizing your return on investment. With this being said, let's go into past performances. But before I do so, just remember that past performances do not guarantee future returns. It only gives you a glimpse and being able to see what this particular fund has done. And let me tell you, this one has been great. Its 1-year return is 20.54%. Its 5-year return, 16.66%. And its 10-year return has averaged 13.46%. This one I have listed at number 1. For those of you who are looking at investing and you have no idea what you should be looking at first, I would highly encourage you to look at Fidelity's Total Market Index Fund. Not only will it bring you good returns, but it will also help you accumulate a large amount of wealth for the long-term investment strategy. Investment number 2 that you should be looking at, and that is Fidelity's 500 Index Fund, or I like to call it Fidelity's S&P 500 Index Fund. Ticker symbol FXAIX. For those of you who aren't familiar with what a S&P 500 Index Fund consists of, 500 of the most successful companies within the United States, which includes Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, even Apple. Now, some people will ask the question, hey, doesn't Fidelity's Total Stock Market Index Fund also include these 500 companies? And the answer is yes. Other people would ask the question, well, if it includes these 500 companies, why would I even invest in Fidelity's S&P 500 Index Fund? Why not just the Total Stock Market Index Fund? Which is a very good question, and allow me to expound for you. So Fidelity's Total Stock Market Index Fund consists of over 3,600 funds. Now, not only does it consist of the 500 funds from the S&P 500, but it also consists of small as well as mid caps. and that is why it is a truly diversified fund. Others will make the argument, well, considering that both the S&P 500 index fund as well as the total stock market index fund are market cap weighted, and that is true, which means its top 10 holdings makes up a very large percentage of the actual fund. So the argument would be those mid and small caps make up a very minute portion of its structure. And I would agree. However, that begs the question, is it still better, even if it is minute, to go ahead and invest in a fund that is fully diversified? In my opinion, yes. So that answers that question. Let's go ahead and get an accurate breakdown of Fidelity's S&P 500 index fund. Its expense ratio is also 0.015%. It also has a 0 minimum investment. Its risk is also considered to be mid-range. It has very low expenses, and it also yields very high returns. Now, to give you an example of this, its 1-year return has averaged 17.24%. Its 5-year return has averaged 16.15%. Its 10-year returns has averaged 13.49%. So as you can see, its returns are not far off from the total stock market index fund. But for those of you who would much rather prefer to only invest in the S&P 500 without those small and mid caps, then this would be a very good option for you. For those of you who are actually undecided between which brokerage account, in this video, I actually did a full overhaul between Vanguard, Fidelity, as well as Charles Schwab. So go ahead and watch that video after this one. So before we go into number 3, for those of you who are already investing with Fidelity, put down in the comments below what your top 5 Fidelity investments are. If they're different from the ones that I've currently listed, then that's even better because we can all gain knowledge together. So index fund number 3, and that would be Fidelity's Large Cap Growth Index Fund. Ticker symbol FSPG. All 3 of these are considered to be large cap funds. Total Stock Market Index Fund, the S&P 500 Index Fund, as well as Fidelity's Large Cap Growth Index Fund. Well, what exactly is the difference? Fidelity's Large Cap Index Funds places a special emphasis on those 500 companies, but minus the ones that they deem as not bringing in very high returns. This particular high growth index fund specifically focuses on those companies that bring in high returns. Let's go ahead and break down what makes up this particular fund. Now, because this one aims to bring in high returns, its expense ratio is a little bit higher. It's 0.035%. It also has 0 minimum investments. Its risk is actually considered to be high. It does have relatively low expenses, but yields very high returns. So let's take a look at an example of these high returns. Its 1-year return is 34.45%, which is just outrageous. Its 3-year return is 20.12%. Its 5-year predicted return, because it is a relatively new fund, is 18.88%. Just remember, the higher the return, the higher the risk. So just make sure that if you invest in this particular one, that it does match your particular investment strategy, all right? If you're looking to accomplish a very high growth in a portfolio, then Fidelity's Large Cap Growth Index Fund would be the way to go. Before we move on to index fund number 4, for those of you who are interested in joining a group of like-minded individuals who are looking to get out of debt, reach financial independence, and also begin building wealth, go ahead and join the Let's Talk Fire Facebook group, all right? It currently consists of over 5,000 members. It is growing by the day. I would highly encourage you to join the Let's Talk Fire Facebook group. Index fund number 4, and that is Fidelity's Emerging Market Index Fund. What exactly is an emerging market? It actually consists of those US companies that has a very high likelihood of bringing in very high returns, of becoming those very solid and very successful companies. This one will also bring you in very high growth as well. So let's go ahead and go into the breakdown for this particular fund. Its expense ratio is going to be a bit higher as well, just because the higher the return, the higher the risk. So its expense ratio is 0.075%. It's also zero minimum investments. It's considered to be high risk, low expenses, very high returns. Now, let's go ahead and jump into an example of what those returns have looked like. 1 year return, 28.77%. Its 5-year return, 14.83%. And its 10-year return, 12.87%, which are very good returns. This one would be a good one for you to go into if you're actually looking to accumulate high growth through a long period of time. The fifth and final fund that I would encourage you to look into in 2021 would be Total International Index Fund, ticker symbol FSPSX. Some people don't prefer investing internationally. However, in my personal investment strategy, I do like to get some international exposure. In my personal opinion, international exposure is a way for you to fully diversify your portfolio. And there's no better way to do so than with Fidelity's International Index Fund. Let's go into the breakdown. Its expense ratio is 0.035%. Zero minimum investment. It's considered to be mid-risk. It's very low expenses, average returns. Now, let's go into an example of these average returns. 1 year return, 9.65%. 5-year return, 8.75%. And its 10-year returns has averaged 5.29%. Now, a lot of people will look at the first 4 examples and say, hey, why would I even invest in that if the returns are not as high? Remember, the average return is 7%. So anything above that is considered to be above average returns. These aren't really low returns. They're just actually lower than the other 4 funds that I mentioned. This one is going to be a very good one for those of you who are looking to fully diversify your portfolio while gaining international exposure. So for those of you who are looking at Fidelity but you haven't quite made your mind up, in this video I actually did a full unbiased overhaul review of Fidelity investment. So go and watch that video after this one. So there you have it, guys. The top 5 Fidelity index funds that you should be looking at heading into 2021. Ensure you do your own due diligence. All right, I am not a financial consultant. I'm just a guy that loves investing, that has accumulated a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sharing it with you guys. If you've enjoyed this video, please smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Not only does it help this channel to grow, but it also helps in my ability to continue making videos just like this so I can spread knowledge to all the people out there to become financially free and begin building wealth. In addition, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any other content just like this one. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel because I am going to be giving you the step-by-step guides to become a millionaire. I would like to thank all of the men and women who have served and who are currently serving. Thank you for your service. I appreciate you, as do we all. So until the next video, guys, let's talk finances then.